Hello, Sam here with our upcoming releases. Next episode, we'll be looking at two comic miniseries: 2015's Lando by Charles Soule and 2016's Han Solo by Major Liu. In the following episode, we'll be looking at EA's 2019 video game, Jedi Fallen Order.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Ba 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 da ba da.
Jedi Knights are gone and forgotten, destroyed by their ancient enemies, the Sith, after a long civil war engineered to bring about their downfall and a new age, the Age of the Empire. But not long before, the Jedi were guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy, loyal to the Republic for more than 1,000 generations and well trained in many mystical powers of the Force. The Order dispersed its wise and powerful warriors to settle disputes, seek knowledge, and keep the people of countless star systems safe. And the bond of one Jedi team, a master and apprentice, is about to be tested like never before. There are some threats that are far too insidious and far too ancient to be overcome with just the swing of a lightsaber. Jedi training cannot prepare a Padawan student for everything.
Hello, and welcome to Crashing for Starfighter,
Hello.
the Star Wars Book Club podcast, which is like a bus. You wait ages, none arrive, then two come back to back. Emily, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am not doing too badly. So I'm going to mix things up today because this is a joint episode. We're talking about the 5-issue miniseries Jedi Fallen Order, Dark Temple, and we're also talking about Star Wars Celebration, which we went to 2 days of. So I'm going to start off by saying, Emily, what's one thing from Star Wars Celebration you enjoyed?
Oh goodness, that's a whole thing. Only one thing that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed actually, as I think I might have mentioned on here before, I'm not really well versed in the High Republic, but we went to the High Republic panel and I just really loved the energy of everyone in there. Like everyone was super
The
passionate
Force will be
about it, and
free!
it was really really cool. And the Force will be free. It was really cool to see everyone so invested in this, and yeah, that was really cool. I just really enjoyed it.
High Republic in 3 words: queer, chaotic, and death.
I thought you were asking me, and I was about to say everyone dies always, because that's my impression that I got from
Not always. There's that one guy, the villain.
or the villain. And there's that one Wookiee that everyone's really concerned about. Not to have High Republic spoilers on here, I just realised that might be what I'm doing right now. But everyone's concerned about a Wookiee. Not to say anything else.
Where is the Wookiee? Is he safe?
Is he safe?
It appears in Charles Soule's anger. So one thing I enjoyed, because I'm gonna do it as well.
Yeah, do it.
Do I want to be cheesy and say the people I met, or do I want to be truthful and say all the shipping between Chief Palpatine and Charles Soule?
Oh no, mine was pretty cheesy, so you're allowed to be cheesy, but also, honestly, you have the correct answer there. Charles Soule saying that he wants to go on a romantic getaway with Emperor Palpatine was actually probably the best bit of the entire time.
Yep. I want to draw the fan art for
Oh,
it. I know it is fan art. I want to draw more.
Yeah, I should get on that.
Yeah, let's do a sheave off.
Sheave off.
Unsheave
my
your
sexy
house.
R2D2.
Sexy R2D2. I'm gonna have to put it on the Insta at some point.
Oh, please do. You have my permission. You can repost sexy R2D2.
Okay, so last time we recorded this, it was a while ago. I asked you a question. The question was, what is the Kessel Run? And Emily, do you have an answer to this one?
Okay, so the Kessel Run is. I'm going to sound like an absolute idiot now. Are you ready for this? The Kessel Run is the it's what they do in Solo, isn't it? It's like the thing that Han did. It's like, nobody can do the Kessel Run in more than so many parsecs, and he was just like, yeah, no, I did that shit because he went into a weird dimension. So the Kessel Run is when you are trying to get away from some guys, and then you go into a weird dimension with a lot of tentacle beasts, and then you come out the other side and you've done it really quickly.
Again, you're really close. For Kessel Run is
But no,
it's a hyperspace route through the Arcades Maelstrom, which is located around Kessel, and there's a safe route through, which is about 20 parsecs. But Han went into the Maelstrom, a weird dimension, which has multiple black holes,
weird dimension.
multiple big Lovecrafty monsters, and because of this, he did it in less distance.
So that was a good movie.
He also did a cool flip and like swatted a TIE fighter into an asteroid.
Oh, sick. We love to see it.
So we're going to start off with the comic section of this, and then we're going to go on to the rest of our Star Wars Celebration thoughts at the end. There'll be timestamps below, because I know how to do that now.
This is for the listeners' benefit, because we are liable to talk for a while on Celebration.
I was going through all the news, and there was so much that I didn't hear about while we were there.
Oh, God. I thought we heard about a lot.
Not all of it.
Oh, no.
So, as I said, we'll be looking at the 5-issue comic miniseries Jedi Fallen Order Dark Temple, which is a bit of a mouthful. It was released between September 4th and December 4th of 2019. And it is written by Matthew Rosenberg, and it's his second Star Wars comic after a Legends one-shot, which was released in 2019. I didn't know it existed, but apparently there's a Legends story released in 2019 to celebrate the 80th birthday of Marvel Comics.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's this character who tangent. It seems to be this character who was created for the original Marvel run in the past, fighting Vader, and it looks really cool. I may bring it up at some point because it's a character who is now in canon. It's Valance for the Valance Nation out there.
We know you're there.
The art in this book is done by Paolo Villanelli, who has worked on quite a few Star Wars comics, and the colouring is by Arif Prianto, who has coloured also many Star Wars comics. And I'm just going to cut to my review now.
Excellent.
Video game turns are usually seen as soulless cash grabs, but by focusing on an area of Star Wars canon we haven't seen enough, Dark Temple manages to be more interesting than it may first seem. Giving more background to some of the characters we meet in Jedi Fallen Order, this comic gives them new depth which, while not needed, does give them an added complexity, adding to their later actions in really fun ways. Sia Junda is a great main character, and her trusting nature plays into the comic story well. The greatness of a situation our leads find themselves in is a true test of her flaws. While there are a few too many plot points played as major reveals, and the later issues get bogged down in exposition, this is overall a really fun read. Seeing the Republic at work before the Clone Wars is always a blast. There are a few fun appearances from characters both before and after Revenge of the Sith. Okay, Emily, so what did you think of the opening crawl?
Very dramatic. I liked it a lot. It's got yeah, it's super dramatic. I haven't heard of this one before. Like, not even in passing. I haven't heard of Dark Temple.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Fallen Order thing. Is this about the boy? What's his name? Poncho guy.
It's a tie-in for the first game, but it's not about the main character. It's about some of the side characters.
Ah, okay.
And,
is it about the sexy dark side lady?
Mayhaps she appeareth.
I like her. So I wonder why. Yeah, no, it sounds really, really good. It sounds really dramatic. So this is post-order, whatever. Oh no, this is the Age of the Empire. I'm just reading it again.
So, yeah,
so
post-order 66.
Really. Yeah.
Or is it?
Bad times.
Which we will get into.
Or is it? Ooh.
So yeah, we are doing this episode because Jedi Survivor comes out very soon, and if you listen to the intro for release schedule, we are going to be doing Fallen Order soon as well. It's a game, not sure how we're going to do that yet. This is just a nice thing to go over celebration news. Are you ready to begin?
We could always we could just watch Markiplier or something.
Hi guys, it's me, Markiplier here, to talk about my opinions on.
You need to go deeper than that for Markiplier.
I know Markiplier from the Corridor digital videos he was in.
No, you know what, Markiplier, cool guy. I like him.
I have no opinions on Markiplier.
Fair enough.
Are you ready to begin?
I am. I'm ready to begin. I'm sorry for the for the distraction.
The planet on Topho. Stormtroopers are fighting on the ground as a single TIE fighter flies in, and a black figure gets out, greeted by some Purge troopers who are like Stormtroopers, but more emo.
They're from the hit franchise The Purge.
Yes, you got it in
It's the
one.
one day of the solar cycle on this planet where all crime is legal.
The black figure asks if the Purge troopers have located the field commander, and they say, "Yes, Inquisitor." And then the Inquisitor pulls out their double-bladed red lightsaber and runs into battle.
Sick.
Most of the planet has been pacified at this point, but there is one pocket of resistance remaining, and the Inquisitor has heard tale of a foe wielding a certain weapon which interests her. After threatening the field commander, who was claiming that the story of the Inquisitor hold is just a tall tale gone awry, the Inquisitor charges into battle with Purge troopers at her side. And if you look at the first image in your pack, you will see some of this
Well.
art.
Oh, very cool. So the guys at the top are the Purge troopers.
Two of them are Purge troopers, one at the front is the Inquisitor, who then does the very
That's
cool
the
helicopter
Inquisitor.
lightsaber trick.
Yeah, I was about to say that's like the helicopter sabers, which are one of my favorite things.
Yep, they're really dumb, but I also love them.
Oh, I love them so much. But yeah,
So with the Inquisitor leading the battle, it's over quickly, and the fighting soon stops, and one of the Purge troopers comes up and asks, "Hey, should we look for some survivors?" And the Inquisitor replies, "No, they're coming to us." And then in the distance, a blue lightsaber ignites. Now we're going back many years to the planet of Namail, where Padawan Seerjunda and her master Eno Cordova have fallen into the middle of a conflict between the Transocean war party of warlord Vrusk and a pack of Dupai monks. Cordova goes into the monks' tent to talk to them about this whole situation, and the Trandoshans get violent, which causes Seer to throw one to the ground to try and stop the fighting. But it turns out she's interrupted a challenge to Vrusk's rule. Now the Trandoshans have teamed up against her, but using her skills for force and her lightsaber, she manages to take them all down with zero casualties. Cordova comes
nice.
out of the tent and says, "It's okay, the monks have admitted to stealing the warlord's credits," and just face palms because this is an unconscious part of Transoceans there.
Just a little too late.
Yep. So they're called back to Coruscant, where Sia has to defend herself in front of the Jedi Council. And she makes clear that she was provoked into fighting back, and Yoda just goes, "Sia, Mace was just asking how it went. You didn't need to like info dump all this and like defend yourself.
TMI.
Is it okay for a Jedi to be provoked into like action that easily?" But luckily, her master Cordova steps in and is like, "Look, sure, Sia may be impulsive, but it's a Jedi's instincts that the Force speaks to before they learn to listen to it properly."
Mm,
Oh, also, if you go to the second image, you can see Sia and Enzo Cordova.
I will. Oh yo, why does Endo, the master, he really reminds me of someone. I think it's one of our tutors from uni.
It was Charles from the print room.
Charles from the print room, that's who he looks like. Nobody's going to understand this, but for me, it's quite important.
I agree, he does look like, and it's Eno, not Enzo. Before you
Endo.
comment, one pronunciation guy. So the council gives Seer and Eno a new assignment to a world that has newly joined the Republic called Ontofo. where a temple has been discovered and the authorities have asked for the Republic to help supervise an
A dark
excavation.
temple.
Mayhaps. A team of Republic troops were sent there, but they're being held up by a collapsing star, so it's just quicker to send a new team out. And Eno is known for his love of ancient cultures, so he's the obvious choice for the mission. And 3 days later, they arrive on the planet. And this planet's kind of cool because there's always kind of a pink snow falling down due
Oh,
to
that's cool.
due to
That's
like the
cute.
levels of tambic gas in the atmosphere. And it's too hot
Yeah,
for the snow to ever settle, but basically the gas rises and it's such a cold temperature gas that it freezes in the atmosphere and just pink snow comes down constantly.
that's really cool.
So on the planet, they're meeting someone from the Dark Corporation, uh, which is the corporation that wants to go out and excavate this temple. And its founder,
Mm.
Dylan Dar, is the one who meets them, and he invites the Jedi to sit in this armored transport. Cordova sees it and is like, "This is a weird vehicle for excavating." And Delanto is like, "No, no, no. You see, the temple's on a land of the Phylari, who all the planet is one nation except for them, and they didn't agree to join the Republic. So we're not technically allowed on their land. We're going to like ask for
But we're here
permission."
anyway.
So Cordova's like, "This isn't armored transport. This isn't a peace talk vehicle either." And Delanto's like, "No, no, it's fine. You two go out. I'm staying here this time because they're probably sick of seeing me. You guys have fun." And
Oh, he is not trustworthy.
Eno is just, he feels like they're being used to show force, and he's not really into that. But so they get in the transport with some of the Dark Corporation's men, and they go into the forests of Phylar, which is where the temple is.
Mm.
On their way, the transport gets attacked by an ambush, and
Oh
Seer
no.
rushes out to the guard's dismay. Eno just apologizes on her. So, you know, she's very impulsive, and he follows, kind of doing an old man walk. She runs ahead, and the guard's like, "This is an armored transport. If we're being attacked, this is a place to be. Hello?" It's too late. They've gone. And in the forest, there is a red mist high in the air.
Never good.
And
Never good.
the force kind of feels, it feels very alive, but also strangled. So it's hard to sense anything.
Mm.
And Seer's kind of like, how can I track someone if I can't sense them? And Eno teaches her how to track using nature, seeing that the moisture had been knocked out of some bushes. She thanks him and runs off again. It's like, oh,
Thanks, old man.
Padawans. She runs to the end of the path where she finds a body on the ground and starts hearing voices from the trees. She's not with them. And she tries to talk back to them and hears, "Hello? Hello? Seer, come back to the transport now." And it's just Eno calling from a distance. So Seer goes back, tells him
Ooh.
what he found. Bokadova tells her off, saying that their current mission is with a convoy, and he, gestures to it as it explodes, knocking both Seer and him to the ground.
Fantastic. Classic Star Wars timing there.
Seer wakes up, a burning husk of vehicle around her, and she tries to call for Cordova, but then she's knocked unconscious by an unknown force. And that's the end of issue
Mm.
1.
That's where it ends. Ooh, that's quite cliffhanger.
How are we feeling?
Print Room Charles, is he safe?
So, the main story, well, for like, what's the word? Surrounding story is the
Mm.
Inquisitor post Order 66, but the meat of it is pre-Clone Wars even.
Oh, so are we going back and forwards between the two?
Yes, so each issue starts with kind of the
Ooh.
Inquisitor doing their thing, when we go back to what Seer and
Inquiring.
Eno are doing.
Nice.
So, the Inquisitor faces down the Jedi, an old woman, and they start fighting. The Inquisitor comments on how, the age isn't good for this old lady, how it's not even worthy prey, and just knocks the lightsaber out of her hand. To which the old lady says, "It's a good thing I have a backup," and pulls out a blaster, which just ends with
Oh
her instantly
yeah,
being disarmed. And I mean, literally,
more
her
Jedi
arms
with
cut off.
blasters, please. Oh fuck. Oh, that's bad.
And the Inquisitor's like, "You're not even a Jedi. Where'd you get that lightsaber?" The old lady's like, "I'll never tell you." So the Inquisitor just takes the lightsaber and starts burning her with it.
Oh damn.
"Where did you get the lightsaber from?" The old lady's like, "It's from the temple." "Where's the temple?"
The
says the
Dark
Inquisitor.
Temple.
And the old lady just throws herself onto the red blade, killing herself.
She's kind of cool. Love her.
A Purge trooper comes and says that all the other forces were killed. So the Inquisitor asks for troops to find her more. Someone will tell her where this temple is located. Seer wakes up in a cell being washed over by a droid. He explains that he wasn't sure that she'd wake, thinking that she's probably dead, and as he's talking, she sees her lightsaber on a table, just lifts it up, pulls it through the bars, and cuts her way out the cell.
Nice.
The droid calls for help, and multiple armed people come in. So Seer, using the force, lifts up a table behind
Wait,
her and threatens to throw it if they don't stand down.
are these people? Hang on. Do these people have guns, or do they have a lot of arms?
These ones have guns.
Okay, they have guns.
A woman comes up behind Seer and asks her to lower her laser sword. Wording, laser sword, get angry internet. Uh, to which Seer just turns around and holds a blade at her. Seer accuses her of attacking the convoy, to which she just replied, "No." And Seer's like,
No,
what do you mean, no? No,
didn't do that shit.
we didn't attack the convoy. I mean, it was one of our men who knocked you out, but I apologize for that." And Seer's like, but you brought me back and you locked me up." And the stranger just says, did you try the door?" So Seer turns around, pulls one of the bars, and sure enough, the door wasn't even locked. The droid, M3LO, was meant to explain all this, but he's getting a bit old and didn't.
Oh,
So
I have
Seer,
such a soft spot for like clanky old droids, you know?
yeah, the droid kind of looks like L3 as well.
Oh, oh well, three.
In fact, if you go to the fourth picture in your pack,
Oh, I will.
we get to the next bit where Seer introduces herself to a stranger, and the stranger introduces herself as Nirali, and welcomes a Padawan to Phylar, the city,
Oh,
home to a peaceful people who seconds ago had guns pulled at Seer.
I mean, yeah.
So here you can see,
Hmm.
you're looking at the image,
Yes. Sorry, I was just having a look at the image.
so you can see Nirali with the pointy ears. In the bottom left, you can see the droid with its
She's
back,
cool. Oh
and
yeah, it does look like L3.
this is the city. It's kind of in the mountains, lots of bridges, very metallic.
I like it.
While they walk through the city, Nirali explains the current political situation, that the Falari wanted to keep themselves to themselves, but the Republic wanted all of Ontofo to join. They pass a kid talking to a sick creature. The creature's called a musketeer. It never comes back, but I just like bringing up the little creature names. And
You know
Nirali
what? I
explains
appreciate that.
it looked like a green. I can't even. It looked like a crustacean, a green crustacean.
Green crustacean. I love the like creature descriptions. That's like one of my favorite things, actually.
Well, I'm bad at
So never
them,
stop doing
so.
them. No, I like them. I like to hear about these little guys who are, you know, walking around.
Nirali explains that all Falari children have a strong affinity to nature, which the Jedi may consider to be the Force. And Seer thinks that maybe this is because of how strong the Force is in this area, to the point that she can't even sense her master. And Nirali asks,
Mm.
what was your master in the convoy? And Seer's like, yeah, why do you ask?
Uh,
And Nirali's like, well, we have some Phylar who live in the city may hear things. And This won't be easy. And then M3LO comes. There were no surprises, no survivors in the explosion. See, it was easy.
There were no surprises in the explosion. It was very standard.
There were no survivors. This is my voice,
Oh,
probably.
it's good. It's good voice. So the old man didn't make it.
Nope.
No.
Sierra asks if it wasn't Mufala who attacked. Who was it? And Nirali says there are forces that seek to blame them and cause aggression towards them before leading Seer to a temple. The Phylar have no idea who built the temple, but for their whole history, the Phylar have protected it, and now the Dark Corporation wants to access it. Seer says that, Dar just wants to explore it. Nirali points out that their words and their intent may be different. She then says that some
Yeah, they're a
people,
corporation.
yeah, typical corporation,
Yeah.
so that some people who attacked the convoy were wearing the Dark Corporation logo on their clothes. And they could have done it to try and frame the Falari and end their land
Corporation
agreement
bad?
with the planet's government. So Seer, being just a Padawan, her master's dead. She feels out of her depth at this point. So
Yeah,
she
not
wants
surprising.
she wants to report to the Jedi Council, and the only way to do this would be to return to the city. Nirali worries that Delanto's people will find her and kill her, and asks how she plans to get past them, to which Seer just replies, carefully.
True.
The next day, in the city, she's walking around with her Jedi hood up, and 3LO at her side. He's commenting on how many of the Dark security forces are out there, and Seer tries to get him to turn back, throwing this big old droid below her cover. But he was ordered to keep an eye on her, and he's unable to leave her side, so Seer
He
concedes.
simply has to.
She says, we need to be sneaky, and he replies, I'm sorry, that isn't in my abilities.
This is my voice. I'm a droid.
I'm a droid, hello there.
This is very Yogscast. This impression is extremely Yogscast.
I'm not Tom Clark. So they go to a parliament building where Seer thinks she'll be able to contact the Jedi Temple. But she tells Freelo to stay outside and sneaks in. And does she go to contact the Jedi Council? No, she goes
Nah.
into the Parliament chambers where Delanto is listing his losses. And the Parliament are surprised by the intrusion, and Delanto introduces her and invites her to speak. He has this kind of smug smile on his face. And Seer makes a claim that it was Dar who attacked his own troops to try and frame the Flari. And, the lead peacemaker, who's like the politician guy, this is an outrageous accusation. Get the security forces in here. And then once it's in,
She's done messed it up.
when the security forces are in there, the peacemaker says, Dar is a great friend to the people. Take this Jedi to the detention center instead.
Wasn't.
Seer picks up a lightsaber and fights her way onto the streets, which manages to run into Freelo and tells him to go back to Phylar and warn them that an attack will come while she buys time. Surrounded, Seer warns the guards to put their guns down and walk away, and she'll act like nothing happened. 3 days later, Nirali is preparing for war. Her second in command, a man called Moru, isn't sure it's a good idea, but Nirali points out that Dar is coming whether they protect themselves or not. At that moment, Seer arrives, to the shock of them all, but she offers to help them win this fight. And that's the end of issue 2.
Damn, so she's just skipped on the whole, I should probably inform the Jedi that, my master's dead and I'm just out here. I'm actually just going to get involved in a conflict.
Yep. A conflict which definitely has no grey to it.
Definitely. I mean, most definitely.
If you go on to the cover of issue 3, you get a look at Delanto Dar.
Let's have a look.
He's one of the right.
Ooh. He's hot. Wait, you didn't mention he was hot. This is the kind of Oh no. My opinion is about to be swayed.
This is me not understanding Axe Grey like fans.
Listen, okay, I love a good a good horrible, terrible corporate bastard. That's like one of the
Kylo
genres
Ren's not a
of men
corporate
I
bastard.
appreciate. No, he's not, but like he's adjacent to a corporate bastard. And I mean he's a good character that I can pull out here that doesn't make me look like a psychopath. Because
Elon
the one that
Musk.
I'm thinking of is gonna make No, it's a fictional man.
Oh,
I know.
um, Mark Zuckerberg.
I have one in mind. I can't say who it is because you're just going to be like, that's a horrible person, and all the listeners are going to be like, no, this person has no rights.
If you want me to cut this bit, I can.
No, I think everyone should know my sins. Listen, there's something about like a horrible corporate bastard who is like incredibly smug that is like kind of hot in a fictional
Who you will not name.
character, maybe. Who I will not name. It's kind of like if a person has like
Is it Ben
Hux
Mendelsohn
energy,
from
but a
Ready Player
little
One?
less
Is that who
like
we're talking
silvery.
about? Because I agree.
No,
Oh,
I've never read Ready Player One. No.
you made the right choice there.
Yeah, from what I've heard, apparently yes. But I mean, that kind of is the energy from what I know about it, sort of.
I just don't get it. I don't get the attraction of smug people.
I don't know. It's just maybe it's like a competency kind of thing. All right, I'm gonna say who I was
What
thinking
are you
of,
saying about my
and
competency?
you. I'm not saying anything about your competency. You're not a corporate bastard.
I'm not a corporate bastard yet.
Okay, listen. The character that I had in mind was Handsome Jack from Borderlands, and I
That's
understand
Greek
if
to
you
me. You know
guys.
that.
I know, but like the listeners may understand and listen. A smug corporate bastard is kind of hot, okay? I think we've probably lingered on this too long, but please.
Do you want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Phylar is on fire. A Gigoran fighter pulls himself out of the wreckage and picks up arms to defend himself, but is quickly shot down by a purge trooper. Another purge trooper
Ooh,
points out the Inquisitor will be mad if there's no one to interrogate, and they turn around and the Inquisitor's just standing there posing on the landscape.
love that for her.
She walks down and asks if, there are still people fighting. When the purge troopers reply yes, she says good. If they're still fighting, they have something to hide. The purge troopers like, but we've had a little look around. We can't see anyone left alive. But there doesn't seem to be anything here. And the Inquisitor just uses the Force to push all the sand away, and there's a staircase right in front of them leading underground.
Amazing, amazing work, guys. Like, you didn't see that.
You're earning your paycheck.
Truly.
In the past, Dar's forces have made it to a temple. Big excavators own the landscape, and lines of troops approach to find Cere there, just sitting on the stairs at the entrance. Cere warns them all that this isn't their land. They try to argue it through the Republic, they have a claim, but Cere holds the Falari's ground. Dar commands his troops to take up arms against the witch who attacked on Topho, and Cere calls for Falari surprise attack to defend their land. Cere asks her troops to just attack the droids and not kill the troops, as they don't need to give the Ontofo citizens more reasons to hate them. Hours later, the war
They have
party
to do the best
returns to Falar after successfully pushing back Dar's forces, and the Gigoran takes issue with the fight. Do you know who Gigorans are? Do you
No,
remember?
I actually don't.
Do you remember Rogue One?
Of course, I remember acclaimed movie Rogue One.
Do you remember Saw's partisans?
Fuck. It's been a while since I've seen acclaimed movie Rogue One.
In Saw's partisans, there's like this kind of big furry white guy.
Oh, oh,
As in like Snow White, not as in like a white guy with a beard.
no, I think I know the guy.
Kind of like a snowy Chewbacca.
Yeah, like the big like Yeti looking guy.
Yeah, that's a Gigoran. So he's one of them.
Oh, nice.
And he says that they've taken some Dark Company equipment, and that's piracy. And they're meant to be defending their land, not being pirates. But Seer says, all's fair in love and war, basically. And this Gigoran
Mm.
replies, but now Dar will attack back, and he'll bring a bigger army. And Seer says, we'll fight back equally stronger and smarter too. Remember,
Oh God,
Gigoran
this girl. I
brings.
want to stand this girl, but good God.
This Gigoran then asks, what will happen when Seer leaves? Who will defend the men?
Good point.
And it's Nerali who then argues that it's Filari duty to protect Fylar, no one else's.
Mm.
On this note, Seer agrees with the Gigoran and promises to get word to the Jedi Council, and they'll get Republic to help. But
Here we go.
Nerali thinks that it's too risky to go back into the city again, stating that, it could be seen as an act of war now that she is a known terrorist. Then, something explodes in the city, and it turns out that the equipment they stole from the Dark operation had trackers on it, and some of Dark's forces have made it into the city. So Seer makes sure that all the kids get to safety, and quickly, with the help of the forces, fights off the assault. And because of this attack on their home, Nerali is now willing to help Seer get a message to the Jedi Council.
Okay.
Luckily, the Dark Corporation have set up a kind of outpost, little village thing on the Ontofo Fylar border, and Delanto he's there to check in on the commander, and the commander's like, the excavator's gone, all our tanks were lost, but Delanto doesn't care. He's like, I have money to buy more of these. How many troops were lost? None. In fact, it seemed like the Jedi was trying to stop our guys getting killed. And Delanto is very impressed by Seer's skills at this moment.
Mm.
And in the background, you can see Seer sneaking in because the network is locked, but Frilo should be able to hack it and give Seer a chance to call him. So Seer goes to the comms building, cuts her way in the roof, and finds Delanto waiting. He regrets that he didn't have much time to speak to her in Ontofo City. They have a kind of, sparring of words. He's like, I didn't get to speak to you before you escaped. She says, you mean before your men tried to kill me? He's like, well, they were just trying to detain you. They didn't want to kill you. He even asks if she's here to kill him, and Seer says that Delanto doesn't get Jedi at all. And he says, well, you've thrown over a terrorist group. That doesn't seem like Jedi way. So do you really still consider yourself a Jedi? Maybe you're an assassin now.
Ooh.
And on that note, she's kind of distracted, and Delanto presses a button which calls in some droids, which attack her, but she easily takes them down with a lightsaber, because lightsabers are OP.
I mean, yeah.
But then a door
I'm
opens.
sorry, laser swords are OP.
Laser swords are OP. In the back of the room, a door opens with reinforcements, and Seer lifts up a lightsaber, charges into strike, but is blocked by another lightsaber, that of Eno Cordova.
Ooh.
They're both excited to be reunited, and Seer asks her master how he made it, but Delanto's like, let me do this. So after I heard my convoy was attacked, I instantly rushed there and found your master near dead. So he's been chilling in my personal bacta tank for the last few days. I wanted to keep his survival a secret because, if someone tried to kill you before, if they found out he was alive and weak, they'd probably try again. Because I was like, yes, this is what happened. In fact, young Delanto's goals seem similar to my own. I can't wait to get past these terrorists and get to this temple and, explore it with him. And Seer's like, Master, I'm one of those terrorists.
I am the terrorist master.
Oh my. Delanto's like, yep. Oh my, indeed. 2 days later, on the border, Seer is waiting with Filari troops, but Nirali is worried that they're walking into a trap. Seer's like, don't worry, I trust my master. Why wouldn't I? And Enno approaches, leading Dar and his forces. And instantly the leaders start arguing. But Cordova lets out a little force blast to get her attention and says, look, 2 days of peace, you can do that. No one crosses the border, no one goes from the temple. After that, we reconvene.
I don't think she can do it.
Seer and Cordova walk away and have a little aside. And Seer's kind of hurt, but Cordova seems to trust Delanto over her, which he disagrees with. Seer then argues that he's treating both sides like equals, and he asks, are they not? Like, sure, Delanto is obviously provoking Filari into a fight, but they seem to have their own secrets. Like, why do they not want anyone on their land? And why do they not want anyone to go into the temple? And that's the end of issue 3.
Much to think about. This is very interesting because, like, I don't know if, like, if the master Enno, I don't know if he is being. I don't know if he's like if he's the naive one or she's the naive one. I'm more inclined to believe that maybe I was thinking that she was, but now I'm just like I don't think this guy's trustworthy. Like I think this dude's kind of got the wrong idea about him.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Okay, if you want to go on to the cover of issue 4.
I will.
And describe to me what you see.
Yeah. There are some strange looking guys on this cover.
You shouldn't be that mean to Seer.
No, I mean, sorry, Sia. Sia is front and center on the cover. I was distracted by the very funny looking guys in the background. There's 3 metallic looking boys back there. Am I meant to recognize these guys?
No.
Oh, they're new guys. Okay.
The Inquisitor goes down into the tomb, flanked by 2 Purge troopers, and finds rubble on the floor and an unknown language on the walls. One Purge trooper finds him and calls her over, and there's a crushed droid with a crystal growing out of his head. And turning on the droid. Oh?
It's not our boy, is it?
It may be our boy.
Oh, I'll let you go on, sorry.
Turning it on, it warns that someone is going to get them killed. The Inquisitor goes, Who? Who's going to get you killed? And the droid goes, For ones who caused this, the Jedi!
Oh!
It's me!
It's he! It's our guy! Oh, bless him. Get him out of there. He doesn't deserve to be down there. Get him out.
Back in the past, I'm doing the sprinkly fingers. I know tells Seer to stand watch while he goes into the temple, but she fears that if anyone sees him going, it will be breaking the peace pact and war will be back on. Enno thinks that, Delanto wants to go in here for more than just archaeology. There's something in there that he wants, and Enno intends to find out what it is, but he needs Seer to keep watch for him. As he sneaks in, he passes some masked figures coming out. So someone's already gone in there, even though all sides are meant to not be. And he goes in, he finds a mural on the wall with weird writing, and a mix of ancient architecture and modern booby traps, which he finds curious.
Very curious.
Outside the temple, Seer is joined by Frielo, who asks what she's up to. She replies, nothing, and he goes, I thought Jedi were meant to be living exciting lives of adventure, yet you, Seer, are completely forgettable. Noticing some figures going into the temple behind her, Seer asks Elfrey to do her a favor and just forget her again. And he goes, well, I was actually joking. I can't just forget things. You'll have to actually erase my memory banks if you want me to forget. She's gone.
Oh no, she's gone.
Inside the temple, Seer finds three Dark Corp forces trying to hunt down Eno, and they're of course talking very loudly about how they plan to kill him. She jumps down.
Okay, cool.
She tries to disarm them and manages to disarm one, but then gets a gun pointed to her back, and a guard telling her to drop her lightsaber. When suddenly a wall explodes, and an ancient-looking droid smashes through. Seer tries to fight the robot, but it just seems to be like immune to her blast. She's really whacking at it, and it's just not going through. And these are fancy-looking guys from the cover. The good thing is, these droids are taking down the Corpus. She doesn't have to. But one of the Corpos starts running, and Seer chases him, not being able to fight. He sees her chasing, takes a gas grenade and throws it at her. Just as the door slams shut behind them, and the door slams shut in front, locking them in a room of gas. Seer tries to open the door, but this Corpo doesn't care about escaping. He just calls into high command and says, "The two Jedi have attacked me! We should move all our forces to the temple, quickly!"
Hey, wait, are you giving the hot guy a really weedy voice now?
That's not a hot guy, that's just one of his Corpos.
Oh, this is just a random Corpo, sorry, I misheard you.
Corpo. He's not important.
I was like, hang on.
He's about to suffocate, don't worry about him.
Okay, fair enough.
And Seer's trying desperately to open the door, but she's struggling and she's losing conscious. She tries again, and the door opens, and outside is Master Cordova.
What?
She asks how he found him so quickly, and he says, "You've been my Padawan for you." Sorry, what's his voice again? "You've been my Padawan for years. I of course recognize the chaotic clatter of Seer Jonda not listening at quite a distance." And Seer tells Eno that Dar's men have come to kill him, and he isn't surprised. I was waiting for him to do that. Ho ho ho.
Oh, he didn't believe him.
And he tells Seer to go outside and stop anyone else from entering, before going back to explore the temple more. Outside, Delanto is leading an army, and orders the temple surrounded. But Seer arrives with the Falari party, and calls him out for breaking the truce. "Hey, you shouldn't be here, stop that." And he points out, "Hey, I know you were in the temple, because my men who were in the temple saw you in the temple." Wait.
Yeah, I know you were in the temple, but we were in the temple and your men saw me in the temple and then we were in the temple.
But you were in the temple, my men followed you into the temple, but you were following my men into the temple, and there was a droid.
And I think there was a droid, and we were all in the temple, just to be clear.
In fact, we're in the temple right now. Because when you think about it,
temple.
The temple is a state of mind.
My mind temple.
Ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-dum.
What have I done?
Taken down for copyright reasons.
Yeah, we've been striked.
Seer accuses Delanto of wanting to start a war, and he replies, I need to give him a cool voice now. "I'm a businessman and a historian. Why would I want to start a war?"
Wait, why is he Paul McCartney?
That's a cool voice, isn't it?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it is a cool voice. I wasn't expecting it, but I love it. Carry on doing it.
Seer goes, "You want to start a war because you think you'll win?" And he goes, "I know I'll win. Troops, open fire." The Falari troops are outmanned and outgunned, and if you go to the next picture, you will see this moment, the open fire moment.
I will. Sorry, the voice is sending me. Oh, well, that does look cool, though.
"Hi there, I'm just here with my troops, trying to cause wars to win. You know what's inside the Dark Temple?
Bro.
It's the new Beatles album."
Beatles album by me and the rest of the Beatles. The Beatles are a state of mind, really. Oh, fucking hell.
The Falari
I promise
troops
I'm going to find that voice less funny.
were outmanned and outgunned. And Sia thinks if she can get to Lanto, she can end this. But she can't see an opening. So Nirali asks Sia to draw cover while she goes to the temple, because she thinks she can help.
And then she was like, "We are outgunned! Outmanned!"
Outnumbered, outplanned. There's no way that you can withstand. Something, something. I want to get in that dark temple.
I want to be in that dark temple.
The dark temple is where I want to be right now.
Just me and Ringo in the dark temple.
I wish I did this voice earlier now.
I wanted a tangent about like a hot corporate man, and now he's just Paul McCartney to me.
Oh,
That's it.
It's me, handsome Jack here. Oh, these are really some Borderlands we're in.
Oh no.
Inside the
I'm just
temple, Enno's getting samples of a text, which he's going to send back to the Jedi Temple to get translated. But hearing an explosion from above, he decides he should go help Seer. He turns around and gets zapped and knocked out
Zapped.
by
Oh
Nirali.
no. What?
And that's the end of that issue.
That is the end.
And then there's one last cover.
Which I'll open up. Whoa, that's a nice cover. Oh, cool.
Seer wants to lead a retreat, but Moreau is all open for waiting for Nirali's plan. He's suddenly hit by a blast, and Seer orders the Falari to fall back and tells them to try and find Cordova before she launches into action, rushing through all of the Dark Corporation's troops, landing on top of a mobile command station, cutting her way in to find Dar inside, pouring himself a glass of wine. Hi there, Seer. Care for a drink? Seer says she's here to negotiate, but Delanto knows an old trader saying, "You shouldn't negotiate with a blaster to your head." And Seer points out she's not a trader, and she hasn't got a blaster, but she does offer him some trust. So she turns off her lightsaber. She says that, "Delanto, yes? You're interested in this temple because you want the knowledge inside, right?" "Yeah, you're right. Well, if I let you into the Jedi archives on Coruscant, will you stop your attack?" "That depends, Seer. Is there something you can actually hit me up with?" "Probably not, but I'll try."
Love the honesty. Probably not.
"Well, I know I said money didn't matter earlier, but I've spent a lot of credits trying to get here, Seer. I'm not going to give up. Okay, what if I talk to Nirali and I get her to let you into this temple as well?" "Yeah, that sounds good, actually. Well, men, stand down." And Seer's shocked that he agreed to stand his troops down.
Huh. What if I give you exactly what you want? Will you stand down? Him? Yeah, I'll stand down.
"It's okay, Seer. You see, the Planetary Parliament did a vote earlier, and it turns out Falar isn't even a recognized nation anymore, so this is Republic land, and I'm not trespassing."
Hmm.
So they've just taken the rights of Falari away from them.
Yeah, they've just taken it. Oh, that sucks.
But
Damn
because
it,
of
Paul.
this, "But Seer, if we don't stop the Falari quickly, they may destroy the temple and the secrets inside before we can get there."
Oh no!
He's not like a Paul McCartney, he's not just asthmatic.
Yeah, he sounds. I like the fact that he's Paul McCartney, but he's not like Beatles Paul McCartney. He's Paul McCartney in like 5 years' time.
Beatles reunion tour.
Beatles reunion tour. I mean, honestly, this, I'm laughing way too much at this voice. I promise you, I'm paying attention. It's just whenever you do the voice, I just find it really funny for some reason.
Cool, blimey. So they're walking up to a front line, no one's shooting. The war's over basically. And Delanto
There's a
says,
Beatles joke in there somewhere.
"Come together,
Sorry.
guys." Delanto
Right
says,
now, over me.
Delanto says, "So I looked into that assault on the convoy, and it turns out it was the local security Ahai, but destroyed it." And Seer is furious. "So you did attack your own convoy. You say that, but they weren't working under orders from me, and because it's this area, the local people would have been Flari. So it turns out some of them wanted this war anyway."
Hmm.
And at that moment, he's shot from a blue blast, which is similar to the one the droids fired. Nirali has
No!
returned with special guns, and Seer tries to get her to stand down, but she won't have it. Delanto's
Bro,
dead.
that's like a war crime. That's a war crime!
Delanto's dead, and Seer isn't sure what to do, and that's when Mace Windu offers a hand, happy to see that Seer's
No.
alive.
Yo!
The Republic send more Jedi to Ontofo to try and sort this mess, and down from the transport we have Mace Windu, Luminara, a Celestian Jedi called Maslow Scaff, and an Ithorian Jedi called Udu,
Oh, sick.
with 3 Jedi helping the Dark Operation withdraw. Udu and Seer go into the Tempo to try and find Eno. And they quickly do find him unconscious, but after waking up, he lets them know that. Oh, what was his? I shouldn't do voices because I always get confused about them.
Can you just make him Paul?
Hello, Nirali attacked me. And suddenly, they're locked in an energy shield. And Nirali walks in, followed by Friello. She monologues that Phyla has always lived in the shadow of Unfollow, and that killing Dar was the start of them taking their power back. They plan to overthrow the government and leave the Republic, and Vatek and the Temple can help them do it. Vatek,
Damn.
Delanto was after. They wouldn't let him have. Will allow them to win this war.
Bum, bum,
Friello
bum.
then pops a gas grenade and pops it through the energy shield, leaving the Jedi to suffocate. But
Fucking hell.
from inside the energy shield, Jedi can still use the Force, and they throw some rocks to get the attention of the ancient droids from earlier. And they start hammering at the shield to get the intruders, and they're just hoping that the robots will be strong enough to break through. On the surface, the Falari have got out some cannons using the tech from the temple and are shooting at the Republic shuttles to try and stop them landing. But Republic cruiser that Mace came in on starts firing back, causing some of the Falari to retreat into the temple. Nirali, however, stands strong and continues the assault. Inside the temple, the force field finally gets overloaded and the Jedi are free, but realise they have 3 of these robots to deal with.
They gotta deal with the 3 big boys.
And that's when a blast from a New Republic cruiser comes crashing through the wall and gives them a chance to escape. Outside,
That's
Sid,
convenient.
it is, but it's only a 5-issue miniseries. They have to wrap it up somehow.
That's fair.
Outside, Seer tries to convince Nirali to stop fighting and come with them, but she refuses to surrender. An explosion takes out Master Udo, and it kind of makes sense because he was a Jedi you had never heard of before, and was introduced 2 pages ago.
I mean, yeah. I had good expectations for Master Radu.
And now he's gone.
Now he's gone, taken too soon.
As the temple explodes, a piece of rubble launches towards Nirali and her crew, but it stops in midair before crushing them, held by Seer and Eno. Nirali is shocked that they would save an enemy, but Seer points out the Republic were never her enemies. And then she lights up her lightsaber and starts waving it in the air to try and get the shuttle's attention. Inside the shuttle, Seer and Eno take off, and the temple explodes behind them, completely destroying the landscape around it. Seer mentions
Oh,
that
that was our temple!
it was the Dark Temple.
Bro, that was our Dark Temple! Oh.
Seer mentions that Nirali and some of her troops didn't get onto any ships and chose to stay, and she feels like she personally failed them. But Eno says that they wanted the war, and between them they saved who they could. Seer asks if it was enough, and Eno replies it never is.
Hmm.
Back on Coruscant, Cere and Cordova are back in the Jedi Council chambers, and Cere is once again explaining herself. She's instantly asked by Yoda what her excuse is this time, and she replies that she doesn't have one. She asks
That's fair.
she asks if they won, and Mace replies negatively before pointing out that, the revolution would have started with or without them, the bad corporation was taken down, and the corrupt government was overthrown. He also lets her know that the remaining Flari have agreed to a joint government with Vontofo, but sadly the destruction of the temple has meant that the land will not be livable for years to come.
Maybe you shouldn't have destroyed the temple.
I mean, the temple kind of destroyed itself.
Well, yeah, but like, there was some cool shit in there. There was some good droid boys.
Cere asks what's to become of her, and she's told to kneel. Due to her actions, as told by Cordova, and rescue people from both the Dark Corporation and the Falari, she's to be made a Jedi Knight.
Huh.
In the Jedi archives, Cere joins Zeno, calling him Master, and he's like, oh no, we're equals now in the eyes of the Order. I'm going to spend some time looking at the markings of the temple and try and work out who built it, and how their tech works. But Cere, you go off and have many adventures. I'll always be here to chronicle them.
I don't want to bring it back to Paul McCartney, but like, my guy, they had a deal and they shot him.
Yeah?
I know he was like a corpo guy, but like it was like in a truce situation. That's a war crime.
It's Star
No,
Wars.
nobody cares
Everyone
about
does a
that.
war crime.
I know it's. I know, and I know the Jedi. They very much do war crimes. But like, damn, the dude fought a truce. They had a deal. Anyway, yeah, the Jedi do war crimes.
One of the Purge troopers questions why the Jedi would be on this planet, while the Inquisitor finds a data pad and picks it up and recognizes it as belonging to one Eno Cordova.
Bum bum bum.
She notes that the last entry was incomplete and tells the Purge troopers to set a course to a planet whose name I will not be saying now for drama later on,
For drama reasons.
stating that Cere Junda and Cal Kestis won't be able to hide forever.
That's the guy.
And that's the end.
Wow. Oh, that was good. I like that one. We had some good times during that
I
one.
see you sneaking through my notes. What are you doing there?
No, I'm sorry. Because this is the reason why. I
almost fell off the chair.
I forgot the main character. I forgot the main character's name partway through, and I snuck in to check and see what it was, so I didn't sound stupid.
All the names in this are so similar, and it hurts me.
Yeah, I did get confused between the names on this one, which
Delanto Dar
honestly,
and
like,
his
I haven't
corporation,
had-
the Dark Corporation. Ontofo,
Yeah.
Falar, the Falari led by Nerali.
it for some reason this one the names were hard to keep track of for me.
Mhm.
I mean, like, I do forget names of characters in Star Wars quite often
Mhm.
sometimes, but like this one was especially bad for me. I usually don't forget the main character.
And it has a shockingly small cast, like compared to some of the other 5-issue minis.
It does.
But it is just word salad with names.
Yeah. I did enjoy it though. I mean, I want to know what's in that dark temple, but that's something for the Fallen Order games, I'm assuming.
Mayhaps.
Perhaps. And also that planet that we're not mentioning for dramatic reasons.
Yep.
Interesting. Justice for the Corpo man, for Paul McCartney, who was shot down in the middle of a truce,
Rest
which
in
is
peace.
a war crime, I'm pretty sure. Rest in peace.
Is it a truce if not both generals agree to the truce?
The thing is, though, is that like I think like Seal's acting as a negotiator, right, between the two sides. And maybe it was her mistake that she didn't inform the other side that she was negotiating. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But like if she was
Ah,
walking
the
out the objective, she should
negotiator.
have just she should have just yelled like, "Hey, we have a truce, truces, don't no shoot, please don't shoot. We're in a trucey."
But she was too busy getting that hot goss.
Yeah, she was too busy. She wanted to know what was in that dark temple, and honestly, so do I.
For answer, um, explosives by the look of it.
Explosive. I can't argue with you there. Clearly something was explosive in there.
And it wasn't just Paul McCartney's phone blowing up with your text.
Oh my
That was a
god.
stretch. I'm sorry.
It was a stretch. I did very much enjoy Paul McCartney's time with us on this journey. Um, I thought that his contribution to the story was massive to my enjoyment, honestly.
I'd like to thank John
Yeah.
Lennon because honestly, if he didn't do what he did, then I doubt Paul would be here now.
Wait, what the fuck? John didn't die for Paul. That's not how it works.
I know, but
He didn't like jump out. He didn't jump out in front of a bullet that was intended for Paul. Like, no, please, Paul, you have to carry on without me. That's not how it went down at all.
I feel like we've seen different movies.
Maybe. Sam, this is a hybrid episode
What do you mean by that?
because we're talking about some content and then we're also going to talk a bit about Celebration.
Oh, do you want to go on Celebration?
You're letting me talk about Paul McCartney. We're on a two-subject episode.
Have we got anything else you want to say about this comic?
I wanted to ask actually. I have one question, and that's does Seer show up in any other media?
Well, I'm not sure if you got this from the tease at the end, but she may be in Jedi Fallen Order. Maybe.
Oh, she's in Fallen Order. Ooh.
She might be.
Oh, maybe, possibly.
I'm fairly sure when I first read this, I thought that the Inquisitor would end up being someone.
That would be a really interesting plot twist if it ended up being Seer, actually, I won't lie. That would be super interesting.
I was like, oh, is this what's happening here? Is that why she's so like convinced there's a temple here?
Oh. That would make sense, actually, to be fair. That would be a very interesting turn.
Okay, Star Wars Celebration. So how I'm
God.
thinking of doing
Right.
this is going through the news headlines, and then we can cut in with anecdotes if we want to, or we can say that at the end.
That sounds good, actually.
So, main headline, Charles Soule wants to date Palp.
The main headline. And
Main headline.
It was very in-depth as well. Specifically on Naboo.
Yep, and Rey will be there, just judging her granddad.
Yes, that was also a detail. Isn't it like he was saying, oh, I just think he'd know a lot, about like the culture, and he'd be able to show me a lot about like the artwork and stuff. And I'm just like, why have you thought about this?
Palpatine is from Naboo. He was from Naboo Senator for ages.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so
He would. I mean, he would.
he'd know all about Naboo.
I mean, to be fair,
Charles is just
there are
telling
two
truths.
characters. He could have very, very easily gone with Padme for the exact same purpose, but no, he decided to go with Palpatine.
Okay, Emily, you have a choice
Yes.
of going out for dinner with Padme Amidala or
Mm-hmm.
Sheev Palpatine. Who are you picking?
It's a tough choice because I'm gay, but also, I kind of want to go for dinner with Palpatine. I mean, I don't know. He's got like that evil cult leader vibe.
One of them
That's, like,
will
kind of
just
cool.
start talking about politics. the other one would start like telling cool stories about like Sith Lords.
I mean, they both like a bit of politics. I
No,
will
I
say
dated a Sith Lord
there'd be a lot
once.
of.
He choked me and then I died of sadness. That's right, it's Padme
Oh,
who would talk about the Sith Lords.
I'd have to give Padme therapy. I would have to like do emotional labor for her. I'm picking sheep.
On to the actual news. We started off
Indeed.
with the Ahsoka trailer.
Ooh.
Do you remember any of this?
Um, I remember seeing the Ahsoka trailer. I do.
Do you remember me being excited
We
about
didn't.
things in the Ahsoka trailer?
I do. Yes, we didn't see the Ahsoka trailer at Celebration. Um, unless there are two trailers. There's just one trailer, isn't there? Because we
Yes.
watched one at home.
Yep.
Yeah, we watched one at home. We didn't see the one that they showed at Celebration.
Which had a bit of
But I
extended footage.
remember. Ooh. Yes, it had. Are we doing full like spoilers for stuff that
We're
was at
doing the news.
Celebration? Oh, there we go. It had the old blue boy himself in it, didn't it?
Grand Admiral Thrawn, played by Lars Mikkelsen, and on the second day, at the Ahsoka panel, they got
Not
him up
Pierce
on
Brosnan.
stage. Not Pierce Brosnan,
Ooh,
thank the Lord.
not Pierce Brosnan. Although we did see there was a piece of art that somebody was selling, a very lovely piece of art, but they did use the Pierce Brosnan throne.
Official
That's
celebration 20, was it 2022? Was it last year? It's one of the
I
recent
cannot
celebrations that
remember.
was official art and everyone was scared.
It was terrifying. I did the piece of art that he was in was lovely. It was like a really long kind of spread of like it was like a timeline of characters. It was very very pretty. But I remember you just stopping and then pointing and being like, "Pierce Brosnan Thrawn there,"
Yep,
and I was like, "Oh no, I can't unsee
iconic in its
it."
own right. So when that art
True.
piece came out, there was a lot of speculation because like we saw it and we assumed they were casting Thrawn, and because it was Pierce Brosnan, we assumed it wouldn't be Lars. So we were talking about
Hmm.
who would we like to play Thrawn if it wasn't Lars. And I said Hugh Laurie, and
Interesting.
I stand by that being an interesting shout if they didn't do Lars.
I'd like that.
But I'm very
That would be
happy it
kind
is
of cool,
Lars.
actually. Yeah. Yeah, he's great.
We saw quite
Um,
a few
I
Rebels
don't
cast
have like.
members. Well, not Rebels cast
Oh
members,
yeah.
but Rebels characters. So we got a glimpse of
Hmm.
Ezra, we got a glimpse of Sabine, we got a glimpse of Hera,
Yeah.
we got a glimpse of Chopper, who out of all Star Wars characters has maybe done the most war crimes.
So you're gonna have to tell me a bit more about Rebels now because I want to know about this man's war crimes.
So Chopper is a droid who loves destruction
Is this David Tennant?
and is very jealous. No,
Oh.
I
Who's David
think
Tennant?
I think he's chopped, but chopped. I think he's played by Dave Filoni. So David Tennant
Ah,
is kind of a name. It's like Hyung or something like that, and he is
oh, okay.
an ancient droid who, during Clone Wars, he served on a ship which younglings went on when they took part in the Gathering, which is when they get their crystals. And he was basically this instructor droid
Ah.
who spoke Jedi through how to build their first lightsabers.
Oh, adorable.
But yeah,
Yeah.
in the trailer, Thrawn is named heir to the Empire.
He is, yes. And I remember you having quite a reaction to it.
I both hate it and love it as a line read. And we also saw a couple of other evil guys. We saw an Inquisitor of some kind,
Hell yeah.
and we saw two evil guys holding orange lightsabers.
Oh, a couple of evil guys. I remember them looking really cool, actually.
There's
I quite liked them.
Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati. And apparently, somebody was seen in the trailer. Shin has a Padawan braid.
Oh.
So
Huh.
I cannot wait to find out what their deal is.
Yeah. Are we the baddies?
Ahsoka's going around killing off everyone because she desperately wants to be the last Jedi.
Well, you never know.
I can't
Maybe
train
someday.
Grogu, or there'll be another. That was her real motivation.
Yeah, actually, this is something that I've been thinking about. Um, what I mean, like, maybe Grogu doesn't become a Jedi, because, like, he didn't seem keen, right? But, like, if Grogu does end up being a Jedi, then The Last Jedi isn't going to make much sense, because Luke's not going to be the last Jedi.
We're going off on a tangent here.
Yeah, no, sorry, that is a tangent.
I'm
That
gonna
is a
just
tangent.
reel you back in because there is a lot of news.
Yes, please, I'm sorry.
Ahsoka is coming out August 2023, and I cannot wait.
Hell yeah.
We'll probably be doing either a Thrawn book or the Ahsoka novel around that time, so we can talk more about this stuff.
Nice.
Then we heard a bit about Skeleton Crew, and when I say we, I mean not us, because
Not
this
us.
is some of the information I found out today.
Ah,
It's
did they
about
show a trailer?
exclusive footage, so we haven't got it.
Ooh,
But
okay.
Jude Law plays a Jedi who finds a group of kids lost in space. Is the
Sounds
synopsis I
fun.
found. It's taking place in the Mando
Hmm.
timeline, so more there. But
Mando-verse.
here's the insane thing. The directors include Everything Everywhere All at Once is Daniels
What?
doing an episode. The Green Knight's David Laurie
What?
and Bryce Dallas Howard is back, which I'm counting on the same level as those guys because I love their episodes. But
I like her episodes as well.
is,
That's
thi-
stacked,
is
that
this
is.
going to be the best directed Star Wars show?
Who can say? I mean, it's gonna have to contend with a few.
Not really.
No, I mean, like,
It's not a high bar.
stuff that we haven't seen yet. Stuff that we
Oh,
haven't seen yet,
oh,
Sam.
oh, okay. I think I
You
know where
know,
you're
like,
going with this.
yeah, like
We'll
things
get
that
there.
perhaps that we might be talking about in the news.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
The next thing from the main stage was the Star Wars timeline literally expanded.
It
Before
did.
it started with High Republic and ended with Rise of the First Order, but now it starts with the Dawn of the Jedi, which has the
Ooh,
icon that we saw on the floor in Luke's temple on Octo, and then it has the
I'm
Old
so jazzed
Republic,
about this.
which we have no story set for, but it's nice to see it on the timeline. And
Hmm.
after the fall of the Rise of the First Order, we have the New Jedi Order. And along
I'm
with
gonna be
this,
insufferable about this.
we had new movies announced. We had a Dawn of a Jedi movie by Logan's James Mangold. He's currently writing a
Excellent.
Swamp Thing movie as well. And his quote was, whichever one moves forward first is what he'll be working on first. So
Okay.
it's one
That.
that may be a while, but yeah, I'm excited for that. I like him as a director. All his products are different.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I've been thinking about a Dawn of a Jedi movie for ages. Well, a Darth Vader movie, but like old-timey
Mm.
Star Wars. And
Yeah.
David
Your
Laurie,
granddad's Star Wars.
David Laurie from The Green Knight would have been my choice. So I'm happy I'm getting
Huh.
his Star Wars and having him this era.
Yeah, that is
I know they're
cool.
different things, but I just thought it was fun that
No, I know.
I'm winning on both fronts.
Yeah.
We are getting a New Republic movie, which will end the Mando-verse timeline and be directed by Dave Filoni.
It get very interesting.
Again,
We're
this
probably not
one,
going to know what that's going to be like until we get further into the Mando-verse. You know,
mhm, makes me wonder how long they're going to be stringing us along for.
probably quite a bit, considering Skeleton Crew takes place on that timeline as
Mhm.
well. You know, there's a potential for that to be dragged out for a bit.
I kind of want a Boba Fett season 2 as well, not going to lie.
But
I know I have opinions about that show, but I I need more of him
you
just
know, we
bumbling
still
around the
don't know why he
galaxy.
wants to be a crime boss.
I need more of him bumbling around the galaxy.
I really, the thing is though, is that Book of Boba Fett is not the series they've put out. However, I enjoyed it quite a lot. It was fun to watch, and I want to see more of it. So there we go.
I showed one of my friends who had sworn off Star Wars, just out of context, a clip of the Speeder Bike Teens, and he said it's the closest he's come to wanting to watch Star Wars in ages. So
There we go.
I
That's for
count
the
that as a win.
haters, that is.
Speaking of haters, there was one more movie
Ooh,
announced, directed
okay.
by Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy. It will follow Daisy Ridley's Rey Skywalker after the event of a sequel trilogy.
I am gonna be so insufferable about this. Like, if it's good, I'm gonna be insufferable. If it's bad, I'm gonna be insufferable. I am so invested in this.
I I'm happy they're saying sequel rights. Again, it feels
Yeah,
weird
same.
when you think about uh, Force Awakens being nowhere near 10 yet, and I'm already
Yeah,
announcing movies are set after it. But I'm happy. I'm happy.
yeah. I can't complain considering um I was so dissatisfied with where they left Rey as a character. They
Hmm.
basically kind of took her right back to where she started, and I just hated it for her. I hated her being alone and on another desert, you know.
Hmm.
And I think that's an opinion that I've seen a few people share as well. So I'm glad that that's not where her story ends,
Yep.
you know. And I hope it's good.
It also feels like it's actually adding some finality to the Skywalker saga as a concept,
Yeah,
which
perhaps. Yeah,
which I'm not against. If we're getting this as
I'm not
like its own
against it.
trilogy of movies, it sounds like we won't be getting an episode 10 anytime soon, which
Mm.
I'm not angry about.
No, I'm not angry about. I don't think I wouldn't be angry if they never made an episode 10 and they continued how they were doing things now.
Hmm.
Genuinely, I think I would be fine with that. Um, yeah, I'm enjoying the content that they're putting out right now. I don't really feel the need for. This is weird because I said I'm so invested in it. I'm like, I don't really feel the need for this Skywalker saga to like continue, or like the official line of movies to like continue as like a necessity. But like, I just like the informal sort of way in
You're
which we're continuing the timeline.
you're allowed to be into this. Um, I, do you think Faye would mind if I said something that they said to me?
No, no, I don't think they'd mind at all.
So on the train back from Celebration, I was speaking to Faye, and they were saying that you know the sequels were their into Star Wars in a big way. And
Mm,
since those movies came out, it felt like they introduced a cast of characters that people could really connect to,
mm,
and then just supported the fan base as they turned on them, and kind of
yeah,
didn't stand for stuff that they'd made. And I feel like just the announcement of this movie is it's a big show of support for people who actually like this stuff.
it is, and it's really really nice and refreshing to see because I think we've talked about this before that we're kind of waiting for we're kind of waiting for this to die off and for people to be able to like the prequels to be able to take the
Hmm.
sequels for what they are
Yeah.
almost because a lot of us do love them and um yeah a lot of us care a lot about them and the
Again,
sequels are Mayan as well.
for the out there, two of the three sequels rank really low on my Star Wars rankings, but just the world they created and all the outside material and the
Mm,
characters do stick with me, and I enjoy them a bunch. And
yeah,
I can't wait to see more being done with them.
same. I love them and I love the whenever whenever anything that refers to the sequel shows up, I kind of feel like that's my Star Wars in a way, and like
Mhm.
I kind of just like whenever I see like a something that's a reference to the sequels, I'm just like whoa, and I feel like that's what other people kind of feel when they see their Star Wars, the Star
Mhm.
Wars that they most identify with on the screen, and it's nice to see that after all the vitriol and stuff that has happened around episode
Yep.
9 and episode 8 and episode 7. It's to this is part of the saga, and these characters we're going to move forwards with them. I love
Mando
that. That's great. That's all I
Mando
want.
really drew in like the OT fans, got them back, and
Mm,
Ahsoka is giving prequel fans some serious rights. And I've been
mm,
saying for ages, the sequels felt like the era which Lucasfilm felt scared to touch in a way,
yeah,
and I'm just happy that they're doing something.
yeah. I'm so happy.
Also, in less news,
I'm yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy has
Oh,
announced all these films will have opening crawls.
oh, there we go. I did not know that, so thank you for giving me some news.
There's something special about being about cinema, and for Star Wars Scream
Mm.
just playing, and then you just being forced to read, but you can't
The
read
Dead
because you're
Sea.
a dumb 4-year-old, and then your parents have to read it to you, but you're in the middle of a cinema, so you're being hushed. They're just confused for ages because you didn't play Fortnite.
This is very
What was the question?
specific. That was so specific. Is this drawing on some personal experience?
The High Republic.
The High Republic.
So Alyssa Wong of Dr. Aphra 2020 has joined the team, and their
Mhm.
first story will be in the collection Tales of Light and Life as a store exclusive, which we had opinions on.
We do have opinions on. It's Barnes and Noble, isn't it? I
Yep.
think is the store that it's exclusive to, which is
Why?
not really too accessible in the UK.
This is Alyssa's first High Republic story. Why do you want to limit who can read it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Afra fans around. I know there's a lot of Afra stands around,
Give
and I
them the
imagine
big
a lot of people
audience.
really enjoyed. Yeah, like please, if you're going to introduce a new author, the thing is that the impression that I get from going to the High Republic panels and hearing about the High Republic is that the authors they're a very like close knit kind of working group.
Hmm.
Um, they're all kind of clued up about what each other's doing and they're all invested in what each other's doing. And I'm
Yep.
like, it feels a little bit exclusionary
Oh
to
yeah,
put this new author.
this is
Yeah,
interesting because we were at this panel, and of
you
course I'm
were.
a big High Republic fan, and
Hmm.
you know nothing about it,
No, well, I only know what you've told me about it.
which because we came up with this podcast ages ago is little.
Yes, and also I know that the Force will be free. Shout out to the wonderful cosplayer who gave us some buttons with that on, and me being like, I don't know what this means, but I love you.
The Force will be free. Speaking of the
The
Force
Force will
being
be free.
free, Phase 2 of High Republic, we saw some pages from the Edge of Balance precedent, which is the manga, and in those pages we saw a Jedi's eyes bleeding, and
We did.
that
Those
was
were really
horrific.
cool. Yeah,
Can't wait to read that. And
I really like the art on that.
we also found out that Phase 2 will be ending with The Night of Sorrow. We don't know exactly what this is yet, but I've seen speculation that it could be a two-part comic. Phase 1 of High Republic ended on a two-part comic called Eye of the Storm, and I feel like if they did that again with Phase 2, it would make sense.
Yeah. Why does everything always end so badly for the people of the High Republic? It just seems like now they're like, oh yeah, this is going to end in the Night of Sorrow. It's like whenever I hear about a big thing happening in the High Republic, everyone's just like, oh, and these people suffered so much. Everyone is suffering, and that's not really the impression that I got from seeing like the art of it because it all looks very like light and cheerful.
I think it's part of the joy. Like, a big thing that I love in media
Yeah,
is when characters, when authors aren't afraid to kill their babies. And the High Republic
yeah.
just tortures all its characters in such a way that's glorious.
Oh,
Heartbreaking,
I
but
respect it a
glorious.
lot. They really push hard on like the heartbreak. They're like, we are going to break you, and everyone is so into it. And
Yep.
yeah, it's great.
I can't wait to get there, and we will get there.
Hell yeah.
Uh, Continue with High Republic. We got a lot of the announcements for Phase 3. So I'm just going to go through a bunch of
Mhm.
titles and dates. Notes on Phase 3. It will last until 2025, so it'll be the longest phase, and we're spreading out the books more. Currently, they release multiple books at the same time, so like we get the adult novel, middle grade novel, and the young adult novel within the space of a couple of months usually. Whereas with Phase
Mhm.
3, they're spreading it out more because they've kind of realized that people are actually reading it all, and they want to give people a chance to catch up.
Taken them this long to be like, wait, you guys are reading all of this?
Wait, people actually like this stuff?
Wait, hang on, people like this? People are reading all of it?
But
Oh my
like
god.
last celebration compared to this celebration, the High Republic just cosplayers, panel attendants, fans,
Mhm.
massively increased. So I think we're also thinking we're
Really great
getting more
energy.
readers who won't have read anything yet, and it's for them to catch up as well.
Yeah.
So who knows, Emily? Maybe by the end of phase three, we will have caught up and we can suffer together.
We finally found out what happens to that Wookiee.
Phase 3, Wave 1. The adult novel is called The Eye of Darkness and is by George Mann, and that's coming on November 14th, 2023. So starting this year. The middle grade novel,
Mhm.
Escape from Valo, is written by Daniel Jose Older and Alyssa Wong, and it's coming out January 30th, 2024. And the young adult novel, Defy the Storm, is by Tessa Gratton and Justina Ireland, and it's coming out March 12th, 2024. Phase 3, Wave 2. The adult novel, Temptation of the Force by Tessa Gratton, is summer 2024. Middle grade novel, Beware the Nameless by Zuradi Cordova, is coming out summer 2024. And the young adult novel, Tears of the Nameless by George Mann, is fall 2024. How do you feel about these names so far? A lot of Beware, a lot of Tears,
Yeah, there's a lot of peril
a
here.
lot of darkness.
There really is. From the vibes that I got at the panel when these names were announced one after the other, kind of in a similar way to what you did there, and there were reactions to all of the names. So I'm guessing that these are very these mean something. People who know, what they're in the know.
Yep,
Um, some very
basically
very dramatic
Nameless,
names.
Storms, Valo,
Yeah,
Force, they all mean things.
a lot of High Republic buzzwords, shall we say?
Yep. And then
Yeah,
phase three,
they
wave
sound great.
three, is ending how we started, which is something they bigged up at the panel, and I love it as well. So
Mm.
in wave one, phase one, we got an adult book, Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. We got a young adult book, Into the Dark by Claudia Gray, and we got a middle grade book by Justina Ireland called A Test of Courage. And ending out wave three, phase three, we're getting an adult novel called Trials of the Jedi by Charles Soule, a young adult novel called Into the Light by Claudia Gray, and a middle grade novel called A Valiant Vow by Justina Ireland. And they all have spring 2025 release dates.
Ooh.
And I've only just
So,
realised that Claudia Gray's first book was Into the Dark, and her last book is Into the Light.
oh, that's sick. That's really cool.
Didn't clock that at the time.
Really are
Super
ending
cool.
this finish. Yeah, that is a really cool. So is this the end of the High Republic?
So if you remember at the panel, Calvin Scott,
Mm-hmm.
who does the comics, said that he was excited for readers to see which threads were being finished and which threads weren't,
Uh,
which
I forgot that part.
I think they know how successful this is, and I
Mm.
think they're going to stretch it out longer.
I mean, we already know, to be vague about it because it's probably coming up. We already know that there is one thread that is definitely carrying over
Mhm.
into another piece of media that's going to come out from the High Republic. So yeah.
But before the High Republic started, even for like 2 years before it, we were getting references to these characters in this time period in all the current stuff. It's like even The Rise of Kylo Ren, a comic which
Mm.
I believe you have read.
I
Uh,
have. It's one of the few comics I did read. I wonder why.
in that, they go to an outpost, Kylo and Luke, and they pick up, I think
Yeah,
it's a holocron, and there's a Jedi on that
yeah.
holocron, and that is Avar Kriss from the High Republic.
Oh, was that? Whoa, that was a High Republic character.
Yes, that was 2019,
No.
and
Hey, so I have read something to do with the High Republic.
like there's one book where, to keep it vague, a character goes into the temple and finds out some stuff about some people who chose to leave the Order for reasons around this time period,
For reason.
and we know some of the
Oh, for
names,
reason.
and they are names
Ooh,
present in this time period, and we're just waiting to
ooh,
find out why they did what they did.
interesting. very interesting. I love stuff like this in other media that I love. I love when something is mentioned offhand and then you see it later. It's like the coolest feeling.
There's a
So like
reason why
you
one of the
know,
biggest cheers was when they said Jedi Master Keeve Trenas.
mm,
Keeping it vague for
who's,
reasons.
I was about to be like, who is that? But keeping it vague.
So speaking of comics, the comic will continue. Mainline comic will continue to be a bit written by Kevin Scott, and Adventures will continue to be written by Daniel Jose Older, which they've done the first two waves. Of course, they'll do the third wave as well. For speculation here is the first two waves have been going for, the first wave, sorry, the first phase went on for about a year, and we got, I think, 15, 12, 15, 15, I'm going to say, comics out of it for like the main run. Because,
Mm,
like one a month. If this is going from late 2023 to early 2025, these could be long comic runs, and I'm here for it. But it's going to be interesting if they stick as weekly or if they go bi-monthly.
mm.
Not
Yeah, that
weekly,
is
sorry, they are
interesting.
monthly comics. Instead of monthly,
Oh,
every other month.
yeah,
I know how time works.
I
Uh,
understand time.
the last thing is short story fiction, which I haven't read any of this yet, but each phase we've had short stories in the Star Wars Insider magazine based in a place from
And
the
like,
time period. So for phase one, it was a bunch of stories from Starlight Beacon. In phase two, it's the
hmm
Sparkle Enlightenment on Jeddah. And in phase three, we're going to get Chronicles from the Occlusion Zone.
ooh,
That name means things,
cool.
but
That
I,
name does mean things, I'm
I,
assuming.
I feel like we should get on to the next thing because
Fair enough.
we saw a clip from the Acolyte.
It was so sick. It was really cool.
So this series is set 100 years after Phase 1 of the High Republic and 100 years before
Mm-hmm.
Phantom Menace, and it's including a character we know from the High Republic, and it's
Indeed.
set the internet ablaze with wondering how long different species live.
Yeah, because 100 years from the end of the High Republic is a long time. Who was in the High Republic series to still be around and kicking,
My
and possibly
answer
ass kicking.
is Wookiees live forever. No one questions it. Baby Yoda is 50.
I mean, no, yeah, like
Species
absolutely,
age
like
differently. This isn't new. I don't know why everyone's making such a big deal about this.
no, it's not a big deal. It's just I think people are right to be curious, just like oh, I wonder how long these people live. But
Hmm.
I think when it gets to like oh, this is ridiculous, that's kind of
Yep. So just to say it, we found out that Rebecca Henderson will be playing Vanestra in the show, who was a character introduced right at the start of Phase 1 in A Test of Courage.
very cool, very cool. She looked awesome in the clip.
Very excited to see how she's used. And what can you remember about the clip?
Oh goodness, I remember the thing that I remember the most distinctly was how cool the like assassin lady looked. I don't
Hmm.
know if she's a character that you might be familiar with or if she's a new character. I don't know if she's the main character. She might be the acolyte. I don't know. Um,
Do you know anything about this show?
I don't know. I don't really know much about it. I know that there's an acolyte and someone from the High Republic is in it, and it looks really cool. And there's an assassin lady, and I like her.
I should have done more research on this, to be fair. But my understanding is that this show is the end of the High Republic. It's the transition from this period of light and
Mm,
life
yes,
into the disillusion. And it will be
yeah,
following the dark side of the Force, because part of the High Republic is they purposely stick away from the Sith. And this will be answering kind of what the dark side is up to in this era.
yeah. We love a bit of the dark side, to be honest. Um, hell yeah, the fight that I remember the fight scenes that they showed looked really good in
Who
the
are using the
trailer.
Force and like
Um,
slipping on the floor.
yeah,
Mm.
that was super cool actually. I love that, and I think that the time period is a really interesting one because it kind of covers the whole like oh, how did these fancy boys become the boys that we are familiar with today?
And the shot that sticks with me is the last one of at night. The Jedi are all there, and they all
Mm,
light up their lightsabers of different colors.
yeah, that got a lot of
It's
cheers,
just such a
and that
cool
was
shot.
super cool looking. Yeah, oh, such a cool shot.
It feels like
There were people
what
on
Attack
their
of the
feet for
Clones
that shot.
wanted to be.
Mm. There's something about just like seeing like a big like a group all like ignite their lightsabers and stuff.
Mhm.
I think like it taps into like our monkey brains and we love it,
A
you
chaos
know?
of Jedis. That's what they're called.
Mm,
It's not actually what they're called,
cool.
but and also, this is news to me as well. But on the showcase panel on day one, we also learned about
Hmm.
another Jedi character from this show,
Oh,
a Wookiee called Kanaka, who'll be played
oh
by
no.
Jonas Sutamo, who plays
Oh, is he?
Chewbacca.
Yeah, he's new Chewbacca.
Yeah, Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. He was at
And
Celebration as well, wasn't he?
yep, he went on stage and he was saying how, he's always wanted to play a Jedi, but he was happy with Chewbacca,
Oh,
and it's super cool that, they're giving him more.
that's very cool.
Something I
I
will
love a Jedi Wookiee as well.
Something I love about Star Wars is they do seem to look after their actors. Like they do get Hayden
Mm.
back. They do give Ahmed Best more rights every year.
Hmm. Yeah, they've been getting a lot better at it for
Hmm.
sure.
And I'm excited to see how they treat their sequel actors in the Rey movie.
Yeah.
Circling back round.
Cycling background. That's also. I think we've talked a lot about the Rey movie, but
Yep.
yeah,
So comics next. Dark Horse Comics. We saw Tales from the Death Star,
yeah.
which continues for Star Wars Halloween, or in the case of Franco's pick, Christmas, horror.
I love a bit of Star Wars horror.
We
I
saw
do.
questions like, what are High Republic vectors doing at the Death Star? Is it just fair so we can sell this
Ah,
comic to High Republic stands? And who's haunting Tarkin on his last day alive?
Tarkin. I remember we were talking to somebody there who was very adamant that Tarkin was having some sort of gay experience.
Oh,
I
so
think. I'm
I
pretty sure that's what it was.
I haven't read this book, but there
Hmm.
is a book called From a Certain Point of View, and it's basically a New Hope, but it's from 40
Yeah.
different points of view for 40th anniversary. We've done one for
Hmm.
Empire Strikes Back, and we're doing one for Return of the Jedi as well. And in it, there's a story from the perspective of a mouse droid, which is this mouse droid
Oh.
taking messages back and forth between Tarkin and his possible secret lover. I haven't read it,
Oh,
but I
Tarkin.
think that's what I understand it.
That must be it.
Tarkin just sleeping with a guy before the
I
Death
love that
Star
for
Death
Tarkin.
Star blow up,
Hmm.
while apparently being haunted by the ghost of Saw Gerrera. So that's something.
That is something. That is well and truly something. No,
Also,
that seems really cool.
we saw like a kind of Lovecraftian horror monster as well, which was
Yeah,
the trash compactor creature in all its glory.
very cool. I love a good monster.
I have fallen behind on Vader's Castle. I haven't read all of them yet. I haven't read a Rancor Pit either. So I feel like I'm gonna have to catch up because that looks super cool.
Yeah, yeah, it looks sick.
And the other big news from this panel was Quinlan Voss is returning. He's appearing in an issue of
Yo,
Hyperspace Stories. He was a character popularized by the Dark Horse comics, and I haven't been reading Hyperspace Stories either, but maybe I want to pick it up because it looks sick.
yeah. I'm pretty sure at the panel there was a Quinlan Voss player, I think, in the front row.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that that's what it was, and it was really cool. They kind of like pointed this, and they were just like, "Yo," and it was like a kind of a cool moment because they got to see, the announcement that he's back. He's in the comics, baby.
Yep. I'm very.
Hell
He's a
yeah.
character they don't do enough with, and
Mm,
he's been hinted at being an Order 665 for ages, but they haven't done anything with that. So I am very excited to see him back, and
yeah.
I hope that Dark Horse get to do more of him.
Hell yeah. I'm very
And
excited see him do a shooty shooty with Cad Bane.
The Book of Boba Fett's own. And the other thing to mention from this panel is that I feel like Kevin needs to see therapy about his love of Jackson.
Yes. This man is obsessed with this rabbit.
I'm gonna be honest.
Obsessed.
When I read I haven't read it in ages, but as a kid, I always found Jackson pretty creepy. I seem to recall him like perving on the gals. So
Yeah,
I
it
should revisit
probably
that
has
issue,
that kind of.
but
He may he from what I know about Jackson, he's like the cool guy, you know? He's kind of like a cool guy, and he's like I don't
a
know if
cool
this is
guy
gonna
who
sound
looks
insane.
like
He's like Crash Bandicoot, you know? He's like
that's a perfect allegory.
yo, he's like it's like yeah, this is like a little cartoon man that fucks, you know? That's kind of
Uh, let him do it.
let him do it. Oh god.
For Marvel panel, which was on a Monday, so we didn't get this,
Hmm.
and it was a panel which was very little reported on, so I had to struggle to find the information on it. But
Oh, interesting.
Dark Droids is the next big crossover event set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Charles Soule is leading it, and it will cross over all the
Nice.
series, including its own mini-series, and it's about a threat called the Scourge, which will turn allies into enemies, as it affects all droids and cyborgs.
Oh god, they've let a virus in. Oh no.
I saw one comment from the panel, which apparently someone mentioned it would be a bad time to be more machine than man. So,
Mm, yeah, that's
interested
a
to
very, very
see.
good point. Interesting.
And it's also clever because I've been thinking, and it's one of those things where all the ongoing series do happen to have cyborgs or droids in major roles, and they're
Yeah.
characters you care about. So I'm scared, honestly.
Yeah, there's a couple of good boys that we need to be concerned about.
Hmm. Uh, in fact, next episode we may touch on one of these boys, and foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. Oh, I can't wait.
And we also heard about some of the Return of the Jedi one-shots. So far we've had Jabba's
Indeed.
Palace, which is super good. It's the story of the protocol droid Jabba had before 3PO and how he was manipulated into giving someone power he shouldn't. And we've had Ewoks, which I had arrive earlier. I've had a flick for it. It's about Ewoks telling each other stories around a campfire, but there's no dialogue. But there's
Oh,
I've seen when I was looking for it, it's all different art styles for stories. There's one bit where an Ewok story gets too scary, so another Ewok comes and just bonks him with a stick, and
that's so sweet. I love that.
that's going to be the picture I'm going to upload onto the Insta with a text
Oh,
every time Emily meets a character.
is this gonna be like
Bonk.
bonk. Emily going off on a tangent about how hot like questionable corpo men are? Just I need a bonk on the head always.
Uh, what episodes have we done so far? We did Lost Stars. I can't remember who you wanted to bonk in
We
Lost
did.
Stars, but uh, in the Leia comic, there was there
Oh,
was
the hot lady.
yeah, and
I can't remember her name, but the hot lady.
and in Earth for July there was the hot lady, and
There was the hot lady.
in
Yeah.
this there's the hot
This
corporate
one,
man.
just for Paul McCartney.
Anyways, so future one shots we're getting are Lando in May, The Empire in June, The Rebellion in July, and from Daniel Jose Older himself, we're getting Return of the Jedi, Max
Ooh.
Rebo in
Ooh.
August.
Max Rebo. Oh,
A character you don't get the appeal of.
I like Max Rebo. The thing is, though, apparently the public gets the appeal because when we went to the shop at Celebrations, they were all sold out of Max Rebos. There were no more Max
And
Rebos
you were
at
so
all.
confused.
I was very confused.
uh,
Oh goodness.
Other news, Bad Batch, season 3 confirmed. It will be the last one.
Ooh, is that a
Uh,
good thing or a bad thing?
Bad Batch is a show I have opinions about. I'm going to say it's a good thing. Season 1 knew what it was. In my opinion, Season 2 didn't have the same sense of identity. I'm usually a fuller defender, but Bad Batch just goes over the same character beats too many times. And it
It's
has
fair
that
enough.
weird momentum of nothing happens, and then suddenly so much happens between episodes, you wonder why nothing happened before it.
Mm,
So
yeah. I mean,
hopefully,
I don't want to get into spoilers for it here, but you were telling me about a situation where they go to a place and then they don't go to a place and then they get attacked at the place and then they have to go back to another place.
that
That
was part
thing.
of it I
That seems like
liked.
a bit of a convoluted.
That's it when it's good.
That's it. Was good. No, we're not a Bad Batch anti-channel here. We don't. Um, we're not here to bash on the Bad Batch.
Speaking of animated shows I didn't particularly like, Tales of Jedi is getting a season 2. We don't know who it
Dun,
will
dun,
cover,
dun.
but I'm excited for it, honestly. I do love
Oh yeah.
animation. I feel like animation is where Star Wars truly thrives, and I'm
Mm,
always a fan of more of it. Even though I'm not the hottest on the current Bad Batch, and I didn't like certain retcons that season 1 of Tales of Jedi did,
ooh,
or Bad Batch for that matter.
ooh. Put a pin in that for later.
But speaking of animation that I enjoy, there was a trailer for Visions Volume 2,
Yes, I've seen
and it
this
showed
actually.
an
I've
insane
seen
range of
trailer
animation
for it.
styles and talent.
Absolutely insane. So much good stuff in there.
I
Yeah,
kind
looking
of
forward
waited for
to it.
that.
When's it coming out? I can't remember.
May the 4th.
Oh, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
We get Visions and we get the first 3 episodes of Young Jedi Adventures on the same day, and it's the day I go
Oh,
back to work after the time I booked for Jedi Survivor.
oh no.
So I planned that awfully.
At least you'll have something to look forward to when you get back from work.
Yep. And the last bit of news is that in 2025, Celebration will be heading to Japan, and I have started saving my
Yes,
coins.
I knew you were going to. I knew it.
I've wanted to go to Japan for over a decade, and it's one of those things I keep pushing off to having
I
like
love.
a goal to aim for.
We'll see if I can manage. I may be interested, but yeah, it's a lot of money. Watch this space. I might go. We'll see. That's if we can get tickets.
Yep, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, is there anything you
Well,
want to mention about our celebration experience while we're here? Now we've gone through all the news.
ooh. I want to give a shout out to the person who came to the Chiss meetup and had the sexy Thrawn body pillow that they just whipped out.
Yo!
You're a legend. You're an absolute legend, and we love you if you're listening.
Hmm.
That was really cool.
Shout out to all the people we
We
met in
met.
queues.
Yeah, yeah. I was just about
Lovely
to say
people.
we met some lovely people. Um, yeah, it was so great. It was a really great experience. I haven't been to many cons before, honestly. That was like one of my first cons. It's the biggest one I've ever been
Hmm.
to, that's for sure. And it was a really, really lovely
Well, I'm
experience.
making note of as I need to take you to a Comic Con at some point. But yep,
I'll be up to go to Comic Con. I'd like to. I'm gonna get cosplay ready. Let's do
yeah.
this. Don't ask me who I'm going as. I'm not 100% yet.
October 2023. See you there.
Ooh, we'll see. We'll see.
And
Yeah.
High Republic meet. Really enjoyed that.
Mhm.
Uh, the Star Wars Explained meet. Star Wars Explained staying around for over 2 hours, just meeting fans after we couldn't get into a panel.
That's lovely. Yeah, it's a shame we couldn't get into the panel. It was really limited. The space they gave them was really small. I don't think they
Hmm.
anticipated the amount of people that were interested because
Speaking of
there was
small
a big
space,
line.
uh, what the heck
Oh,
was that Forbidden Planet booth?
oh my God! Yeah, we have some feelings about the Forbidden Planet booth. Um,
I feel like it's
the
not a hot take to say that if
it
you're
was really
having a bunch of store exclusives, give a booth a queue, and if you're having sightings
yeah,
there, give the sightings room.
it was tiny as well. It was tiny. It was kind of tucked in the corner, and they didn't have a proper queue system. So like they would close they like the Lego booth had a massive big thing, and it was like an organized queue thing with dividers and stuff like that, and they can have a massive
And
queue.
nothing
I
inside
know we stood in it, and we didn't buy anything.
because there was nothing to buy.
But yeah, there was nothing to buy. We got there and we were just like, they have
That was
like
morning
some
of day 3.
like the helmet models. Yeah, like I don't understand. They had some of the helmet models, but they only had the Leia one left, the like Return of the Jedi Leia one left. And they had a couple of like the little brickhead guys, I think. But I can't remember what
Yep, the
characters.
Return of
And
the
that's
Jedi
it.
collection.
Oh yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah, and that's it. But this isn't a anti Lego booth segment. This is an anti Forbidden Planet booth segment. At least they had a proper queue system. The
Yep.
Forbidden Planet one, we kept showing up all through Saturday, like, and you know we ended up having to like wait for ages to be able to like jump into the queue and just about manage to get in to be able to queue. Mad times. Biggest comic retailer in the UK. Mad times.
So, was the High Republic panel your favorite panel?
It was, yeah. I really do think it was. It had like a good bit of everything. It had great energy, loads of like interesting stuff to look at, and some super secret reveals at the end. It was cool.
Yep.
It was a good one. What was your favorite?
Probably the High Republic.
Yeah, it was really good.
You. High Republic was good. I also really enjoyed the Dark Horse one, which we almost didn't go to, but I'm glad we did.
Yeah, I'm glad we did. A lot of good stuff was discussed in that one, and there was some people swinging a lightsaber around, and a guy who was clearly dressed as just like a Jedi who just became Qui-Gon Jinn.
Okay, so I think that is us done with our celebration talk.
Yeah. Well, a lot to get through.
A question for the end.
Let's go.
Who leads the Inquisitors?
Okay.
If you want to contact us,
I mean, I have an answer.
Save it for next time. If you want to contact us, you can find us on Instagram at Crashing the Starfighter, and you can find me on Instagram and see my post for Star Celebration at Unlovable Deity, one word. Or if you want to email us, you can find us at crashingthestarfighter@gmail.com.
Wow, amazing.
Emily, thank you for joining me as always, and we will see you all next time.
Thank you. Yeah, see you next time, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
He then asks if she's here to kill him. He then asks if she hit there. He then asks.
I think a cut might be in order.